with New Orleans music, you know, there's so many genres that encompass what we've considered popular, you know, so it's like the jazz, there's soul, there's R&B, there's funk. And with me, with New Orleans, because I've been pretty much ingrained my whole life to be open to it, I've pretty much carved a little path, you know, as the new jazz songbird. This energy that New Orleans has, I mean, it drives everyone. It draws people to New Orleans, but at the same time, it keeps you here and wanting to just invest more and more of your soul into this gumbo. So the same thing with the music is the same thing it would be with food or any type of art. It's New Orleans, it's magic. The struggle is real. Actually, being born and raised in New Orleans, because there's so many musicians, trying to have your own identity and your own stake in it is kind of hard. I was very fortunate that I grew up in a family of musicians, but that didn't mean anything when I was ready to do it on my own and be kind of a solo artist. So there were a lot of hard times of trying to get a gig or trying to show how I'm different or why I should be gigging here or hired there. You know, honestly, singing at two of the most well-known and prestigious hotels in the city, especially being the headliner of the Windsor Court and not even be 30, that is pretty amazing. And it's such a kind of a sign that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing. We actually thought it was jet lag because I was in Greece touring for 2 weeks and come back and we were like, oh, well, you know, baby, you used to being below sea level. That's what's happened. It's just jet lag. So it got to the point where I started having cold sweats, chills. I started nonstop having pain in my side. And then when I couldn't walk, when it was difficult to walk, then we went to the ER. And honestly, I had a really positive doctor who didn't fully explain what was wrong. She just kept saying, don't worry, you're going to beat this thing. I ended up having like 8 medication pills, 4 were painkillers, and I mean before that I was used to baby aspirin, so it was a pretty difficult transition. But with that, I had to kind of stay positive, and that's one thing that I try to stress to people, because my positivity and my doctor's positivity is the reason why I'm alive today. When I found out that I had this kidney issue, there was fear, but at the same time, my mother is a polio survivor, so my entire life I've always been told, get up and get moving, you know, don't let anything knock you down. So instead of taking a negative tone on it, I decided to turn it into positive and kind of use my brand and my personality to help others and get that, you know, that awareness out there that we need to start being healthy. We need to start taking care of ourselves. So I had to kind of change how I was being healthy, how I was working out, and how to fight my kidney issue. Whether it's with drinking tons of water, being more aware of what type of foods and, you know, messes with my blood sugar, things like that. It was almost like I'm living like a borderline diabetic, which diabetics can tell you living in New Orleans is difficult. Everything has sugar, carbs have sugar. You know, it's such a lifestyle change that you almost don't believe how much an apple can set you off for having high blood pressure. But the thing about it is, with having to change my lifestyle, I started it right when New Orleans started getting fit. And I'm so grateful for that, because New Orleans started having different organizations that were about fit and health, and I started trying to jump on those to understand what I was doing in my life. I'm the type of person, if I'm held accountable, I'll do something. And I hate running. Running was never a fun thing I love to do, but I was like, you know what? If I can get some people to show up, I'll be obligated to do it. So I honestly made one social media post, and I just kind of like let my heart out. I was like, look, I have this difficulty. I'm going to start running, and I invite anyone that wants to come with me, please come. And 10 people I've never met in my life showed up. And honestly, that was to me a sign from God. A. B, that meant people were watching me and were actually on this journey with me, and that further showed it when these 10 people showed up, and now it's up to like 50 people, and it's growing and it's growing. And honestly, I couldn't think of a more diverse, happy, fun group to be a part of this journey with me. I'm total geek about quotes, and I love mantras. So I was like, you know what? I want to do something that just reminds me every day to just get up and do something. And I want to make a shirt. And honestly, I was like, okay, I love movement because I'm always dancing when I sing. Okay, move, move. And then honestly, down the street, second line was coming, and I was like, move your brass. Get up and move your brass. I'm like, oh my God, that's so New Orleans. And I could not imagine anything but a brass band running across in fitness gear, almost like they're trying to catch somebody, you know? But it was like, move your brass. And I had a friend of mine that did it, and Donkey, and he was amazing, designed the shirt, and I started wearing it. And everyone asked, where was it from? What was it about? Where could they get it? So I decided to start making more shirts and selling them. And it just kind of grew into a bigger movement, and then into a running group, and into, you know, being a big hit on Instagram. I mean, it got bigger. Giving back to the community is something that's really important to me. I'm always doing health and wellness forums. I'm always speaking to kids, younger, older. I'm trying to express to people that, you know, health is not the be-all, end-all. I mean, I never forget, a month ago I did a speech with some elderly people, and I tried to explain juicing, and this lady was so sweet. She goes, baby, you know, I juice all the time. I apple juice, cranberry juice. I juice more than anybody. And I was like, okay, that is great. Let me explain to you what juicing is, you know? Bless her heart. But, you know, it's one of those things where I'm realizing I may not be certified in any of these fields, but I'm just like everyone else. So I'm just telling you, look, this is what I figured out, and this is something that maybe you didn't hear from your doctor, or maybe someone omitted when you're trying to do something with a dietitian. But giving back to the community is something very important to me, and honestly, this running group is my biggest love to New Orleans because it's free, and it's something that it's engaging to everyone. I want everyone who just wants to walk or jog or run just feel like, you know what, there's a group of people that, first of all, want to know my name. Second of all, they want to just help me be fit, help me, encourage me. And that's something I feel like it's not really here yet. I feel like there's a lot of gyms, there's a lot of training coaches, but there's not like just a group of people that says, hey, I'm just trying to be healthy, I'm just trying to have fun, and join me, Ryan. Muses. I would. Muses? Okay, but not one that we already have, just anyone. I think Move Your Brass should have its own. Move Your Brass should have its own Mardi Gras parade, and it should be tons of brass bands and more brass bands giving out beads and parade floats. I think that would be really fun, and we could make people come dance with us. Oh, it'd be a blast. I need to always make sure that I'm able to get sleep. You know, as an entrepreneur, there's like nonstop go, go, go. I think being honest with myself and my limitations, I think being able to not see the limitation as a negative, but almost as a positive, being able to see that limitation and kind of swerve around it and make it happen in my own way at my own time that's capable of me still being healthy and happy. If I have to be the leader of this next movement that focuses on musicians, and because I feel like as a musician, honestly, the health factor isn't always considered. I think that because we are pretty much we're the forefront of the city, we're the forefront of the marketing, we're the forefront of what makes New Orleans, New Orleans, which is the music. We sometimes have to remember that because we're so important, we need to take care of us and ourselves. And I think that with the Move Your Brass movement, I'm just trying to, first of all, bring an awareness to health and wellness, but I'm kind of selfishly trying to target my musicians because we need someone to keep reminding us, you need to make sure that you take care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, you're out of a gig and no one can help you. It's not that negative, but it's definitely something where it's like a harsh reality. And that's what I had to learn. When I got sick, I didn't have insurance. And that was a very scary thing. I didn't have insurance. I wasn't able to work. And then when I was able to work, I realized, I was like, oh my Lord, I'm broke. And then I had to make sure that I took the next steps to make sure that if this ever happened, God willing it won't, if this ever happened again, what am I doing? And do I have insurance? Am I eating well? Like, am I doing the best thing I can do to make sure that I'm providing for myself, let alone if I had a family? So I just want to give my shout out to my musicians. I love you guys, and I just really want to help get you going. My biggest advice is, y'all, we are not invincible. Please drink water. But no, with the younger people, you know, I think that the biggest thing that we as New Orleanians need to be aware of is we have such a great, fast culture and community. And honestly, getting involved earlier rather than later will help build the city to what we want it to be. You know, we as youth, we have such powerhouse behind us. You know, when we want to do something, we can make mountains move. And I think knowing that earlier rather than later is what's going to set us apart as we try to make this city a better place.